It's not easy to wait every week for a new chapter. If it goes on hiatus, it gets even worse. Sometimes we lose track of the manhwa and forget its plot, and we have to reread the previous chapters to understand what's going on. So we usually prefer to read manhwa and webtoons which are already completed. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Hope you are doing well. Today I will be talking about completed manhwa and webtoons. But before we begin with the video, make sure to subscribe and like the video. So let's start our list. Coming at number 1, we have Fiery Enemies. The female lead Garyong's grandmother on her deathbed leaves behind a terrifying last wish, that is, for her granddaughter to reunite with her ex-husband, and leaves behind an agreement stating that her entire property belongs to Garyong, but in order to inherit it, she would have to remarry her ex-husband. But Garyong vows to live alone forever, even if that means giving up her entire inheritance. One day her company catch on fire and all her equipments and fabrics of worth billions get completely destroyed. She then decides to remarry her ex-husband and thus love begins to bloom again between them. It is an adorable story with humor and just enough romance. At times I really pitied the male lead when he used to get beaten up by the female lead during their fights, but even their fights showed compatibility and love. At first, I honestly felt that Garyong was being stubborn and was a bit harsh towards the male lead, but as the story paces, she starts to treasure him. Overall, it's a great read if you want to kill time. Coming at number 2, we have Dr. Ellis. Song Ji-hyo is a surgeon as well as a genius doctor appointed as the youngest lecturer at Seoul University. She carries memories of a previous life as Ellis Song, who lived as a wicked woman and got executed by her fiancé, the crown prince, because of her ill deeds. But just as she is about to meet an untimely death, she wakes up as Princess Ellis once again. With the knowledge of a master surgeon, she decides to dedicate her life for the welfare of people. She decides to annul her engagement with the crown prince, but it seems the crown prince is reluctant to do the same. Loved it from the beginning. Overall, I find the series bittersweet, as in it has those moments where you have got a smile on your face until you realize how many situations make no sense whatsoever or how one's actions are completely nullified. It has a gorgeous art style and beautiful characters. I wouldn't say that it's a masterpiece, as the plot diverts more towards medicine battle instead of their love story. Everything was pretty predictable and some parts were downright unrealistic, but overall you will enjoy reading this. Coming at number 3, we have Miss Not So Sidekick. This story is about a girl named Hae-jung who loved to read to escape her daily stress, but that's before she woke up inside the bizarre world of her favorite novel. Instead of the main heroine who quotes 3 eligible men, she is now Lady Ectre, a minor villain that everyone hates. She is determined to enjoy her side character role and observe all the angsty scenes in the original novel. However, Letty is way too awesome and can't help charming all the characters. You should definitely read this. It is super funny, wholesome and adorable. Arwen and Letty suit each other so well. Arwen is my ideal protagonist who wouldn't have second thoughts punishing those who dare hurt his girl. Everything about this manhwa is just perfect. In my opinion, it's a masterpiece. It's one of my favorite manhwas I have read so far. It was honestly a pleasure reading. The author and the artist is extremely talented. I highly recommend this manhwa to those who really want to laugh hard. Coming at number 4, we have The Reason Why Ralina Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. This story is about Yeon Ha, who one day wakes up in a novel as an extra character who is destined to die at the hands of a fiancé. She then decides to annul her engagement, but every time she asks her fiancé to break up with her, he changes the subject. In order to avoid her ill-fated ending, she offers Noah Winnight a deal and asks him to pretend to be her lover for 6 months so that she can get rid of her fiancé. The story starts out as a typical isekai, and objectively there's not much significant difference with other isekai plot. What makes this so much better than others, however, are the characters. No miscommunication and there's barely any useless misunderstandings, and the female lead is a badass. It's a masterpiece. The characters are beautiful and the plot is well written. It is full of twists and turns, so you will always be kept guessing. If you are looking for a good isekai romance comedy and a male lead who is head over heels for the female lead and protects her at all costs, then you should definitely give this a try. Coming at number 5, we have My Fair Footmen. The story is about Avery, who is the Earl of Bainbau's footman. By day, Avery attends to the household, running errands for the Earl and being teased endlessly by him too. By night, Avery dreams of the day she can stop pretending to be a boy and finally be the girl under the short haircut and men's waistcoat. She decides to continue working as a footman until her 18th birthday, and after she would quit her job and live her life as a woman. But her feelings for the Earl keep growing. She decides to quit immediately, even before reaching her 18th birthday. But the Earl rejects her resignation. This is one of my favorite art styles, so every chapter was a visual pleasure. The beginning was interesting, but then the story kind of lost its spark around the middle. The story and the characters were very plain. The story is a bit predictable, but it's still a good read. Coming at number 6, we have Sika Wolf. On a mission to find the two most important people in her life, Sika steps foot outside the magician's tower for the first time ever. She soon meets Cassus, a mercenary swordsman who looks like her first love. Despite being confused for someone else, Cassus offers to help find the people Sika is looking for if she helps him with his work. She is looking for her long-lost savior who saved her life and was the sole reason she became a sorceress. Thus the two begin their adventure, one that will change not only the fate of the empire but also their hearts. This story is very refreshing. I totally recommend it. I must say that Cassus and Sika have one of the best relationships I have ever read. They have an amazing chemistry, they communicate well and make decisions that make sense. I enjoyed reading this story. There are some plot holes, but overall it's a fun, wholesome and light read. Coming at number 7, we have The Villain's Savior. Asif Randall lives in a world where everyone has a destined partner due to blessings from the goddess of love. Asif's life, however, has been filled with misery. Unable to finish reading the novel titled Sentence of God, Han Jae can't help but feel pity for Asif. After crying over his fate and dreaming of him for over a year, she finally makes her mind up to finish the novel. However, Asif's death at the end brings her great sorrow. Unable to bear the tragedy, she cries herself to sleep, only to wake up as Elsie Tiathi, twin sister of Elisa, the novel's heroine, who does not exist in the story. Knowing all the miseries that await Asif in the future, she decides to change his destiny. Z was annoying in the earlier chapters because of her crying, but I can't really hate her for it because she just loves Asif so much. Everything about this manhwa was just fascinating. I smiled, laughed, and sometimes even cried alongside the events of this story. It's one of the few manhwa with consistent characters, a nice and simple plot with a twist that truthfully serves the purpose, and a romance that tugs on the heart but also satisfies your craving. The male lead kinda gives Yandere vibes, honestly, which made me even like him more. If you're into pure relationships, this fits your taste perfectly. Hope you all have a good day. See ya!